awesome. How are you?
Thanks for making one of the best shows on television.
Thank you.
Thanks for the season finale of season 3, which brought Lost back into the amazing character development that season 1 was for us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Please keep that up. And of course, the flash forward has still got us all spinning. My question is, season 3, the violence really ratcheted up. The others are an extremely violent culture, and we saw a lot of Schindler's List kind of stuff going on. Can you comment on that? Can you help context that for us? And please, please, please tell me that we're not at the end going to find that the others really are the good guys, and you know, the end justifies the means.
You know, I think that what we wanted to do most of all was we wanted to make this season tell a complete story, and the story of this season was the story of the others, and that story had a beginning, middle, and end, and we really felt that the conflict that the others sort of brought to our guys, we had to resolve, and we didn't want to, you know, we didn't really want to dodge that. We wanted there to really be a kind of final summation, a showdown, a real conflict between them, and that involved, you know, a body count, and that's kind of the way the story unfolded for us.
I would actually argue, though, were you to go back and look at season 1, that you would find more acts of violence that our guys committed upon each other than the violence that the others committed upon them or each other. But our guys are just a lot prettier. So, you know, when Sawyer is punching you in the face, you're kind of like, more, please. You're just so attractive. Would you want to take your shirt off while the beating continues? That would work for me too. So, you know, but when, you know, Pickett or Friendly is beating you up, it's kind of like, oh, this is brutal violence. Not the kind of violence we subscribe to. So we promise that as the show moves forward, if the violence stays intense, it will be perpetrated by catastrophically good-looking people. Next question, please.
So, anyway, my question is, each episode has its own writers, right? Like normally a pair. So, how much of the content do they control over each episode? Does each writer say, okay, I want Hurley to run over this dude with a bus, and it happens? Or do you guys tell them, okay, you have to do this? Or is it everyone backstage just kind of agreeing on everything?
It's kind of, you know, it's a real collective process. We break the stories in the writer's room, and it's this conference room, and it's got whiteboards on all the walls, and we all sit in there. This year there are 8 writers, including ourselves, and we work the stories out beat by beat, detail by detail. So a lot of those kinds of questions, like should Hurley run somebody over the bus, are debated back and forth. And you know, I think really kind of the best ideas win out in the end, and the process of breaking the stories is very collective, and then we break off a couple of writers who will go write the outline and the script for that episode, sort of overseen by Damon and me, and they obviously contribute ideas, and the whole, you know, really we try to view the writing process as very kind of collective and inclusive, and you know, so they can, you know, you can throw ideas in at any point in the process, but we really work really hard on the stories, and by the time the story is broken in great detail, pretty much all those kinds of details are worked out, so they really do get aired in the writer's room.
And what's kind of interesting is every writer on the staff, and you know, our staff is you know, amazing, has kind of their own favorite character. They're a lot like you guys. You know, Eddie and Adam, the 2 guys who we saw making jokes about the others, the unsung others, have been on the show since the first season, and they love Hurley and they love Charlie. And
so, all the minor characters. I mean, Eddie's always pitching, like, you know,
Neil Frogert.
We gotta do Neil Frogert's story.
Gotta do the Neil Frogert is mentioned by Hurley in an episode in season 2, so we're going to get around to his story, you know, at some point. But essentially, those guys, in fact, Eddie pitched, you know, the VW van idea in the first place, and that connected into an idea that we'd already had for Ben having killed his own father, and we said, what if it was in that van, and we could set up that van in the middle of the season, and then he can go back to it later. So the coolest thing about the show is the way that the sort of big plot ideas that we have rolling forwards begin to fit in with sort of the cooler, more character-driven ideas that come along, and that's all sort of, you know, it's an amazing team, and we spend, you know, 10 to 12 hours a day in a room together writing Lost, and it's the best job in the world.
Keep playing
Thank you.
No.
No.
Stop playing that banjo.
Hi, how are you?
Damon
How are you, man?
Good.
Damon had to wear pants today. He really tried to take them off as we were coming on stage.
I've actually taken them off since I got on stage, believe it or not. For those of you who are actually recording this against the rules, just watch my left hand. No, I'm taking off my pants.
Next question.
Yeah, next.
That was definitely a
We
color.
haven't used the bells yet, it's good.
Slightly terrifying. I wanted to thank you for the new obsession as far as your show goes. And I had a question that's been bugging me for about a year or so now, and I understand you can't say anything about it, but where's Michael?
Michael.
And is that storyline dead? That's all I really wanted.
Well, you know, probably most of you saw that Steve McPherson announced yesterday at the Television Critics Association meeting that Harold Perrineau will be back on the show this coming season.
And, this was a kind of a bummer for us because we got spoiled. You know, obviously, hopefully we could have timed the announcements at the same time, but that was an announcement we were hoping to make at the con, so we're still a little depressed.
But we actually had planned to announce that to you guys here, but we were not actually aware of the fact that TCA was going to be the day before Comic-Con, so the timing of those dates was never really even in our brains when we said, okay, we were going to announce to you guys that Harold was going to be returning, but yes, Harold will be returning.
But we're not really going to talk about how or when.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Man,
Okay.
I was just wondering if in future episodes we'd see any more flash forward scenes like the season finale.
Ah.
The answer is yes. All right. Let's say a little bit more about that right now. There's been a lot of speculation about what the show is going to be going forward. Certain people have speculated the show will take place in the future, but we will then flash back to the island. But the truth is, going forward, the show is going to feature flashbacks and flash forwards.
I'm not ringing the bell. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the operative question becomes how forward. Are we going to go and with whom? So I think if you continue to watch the show, I see you reaching. You're going to be sort of pleasantly surprised, and we'll just leave it at that for now. We'll make them ask the question.
Yeah, okay,
I want to get
that's true. Okay.
Hey, what's
Hi.
up?
How are you? What's up?
I'm good. How are you?
We're fine. How are you?
Yeah, right. That's not my question.
How's everyone else?
My question is, like, everyone in the galaxy is always connected. I mean, you see Locke with Rose, or like Sawyer with Jack's dad, but the one connection I was really surprised was with Jack and Claire being brother and sister, and I was wondering if they're going to find out in season 4.
This is actually fun. It's sort of like, how can I not get, I would say...
I'm sorry. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't have
We had
a
not,
time.
no.
But, thank you for
Okay.
asking.
Thanks.
Good?
Thank you.
Bye.